I'm Girl Teaches Rendering, and today I'm going to show you how to go from this to this. You're probably making a few little mistakes with your rendering or just making it hard for yourself, so I'm going to share with you a few tips so you can just learn it, progress so much faster, and just get your rendering with digital art like where you want it to be. Okay, so the first tip is use a brush that is hard in the middle and soft on the outside. Now I'm going to do a demo of what I actually mean, but what I mean is what most people do is they use a brush that is basically like see-through, and it's like, let's just say for this sake, it's like the hard brush in Photoshop that you get, or any Clip Studio Paint, doesn't matter what you use, and then they make it like the opacity like lower, so it's see-through. And what happens is you get all of these weird like shapes. You get all of these weird overlapping shapes, and then trying to blend it, trying to blend it, and trying to blend it, and it just doesn't work because you are just making loads of tiny little shapes that you can't blend together. Some people do this, especially at the beginning. So what you need to do to change this instantly is find a brush which is hard in the middle and it's soft on the outside. If you want that brush, I have the exact one that I use. You can find multiple, but you can just download it for free on Gumroad. I've got the link in the description. And really it's going to make your life so much easier. So what my brush does, and I just obviously very used to it by now, and I would recommend playing around with it, finding your own ones, is again, it's hard in the middle, so you can't see through it in the middle, but the outside is soft, which means that I can blend things together if I want. I can also make it smaller, the brush, to make like more sharper details around the edges, so it's just very versatile, and I'm not getting those like weird overlapping shapes. If you don't do this, you're just making your life 10 times harder. So please, 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 please don't do this. I used to do this. You can see like here what my art used to look like and like how hard I was making it for myself. So I think this is just a really easy fix. The second is learn from other artists. So I mentioned before you can take my brushes and you can basically learn with that. Now you want to take as much from any artist that you like from possible and learn from them. Learn their rendering technique. So literally copy another artist. Like, I know that sounds like for some people, I don't know, not a good idea, like you're copying someone, why do you do that? But it's part of learning. Everyone should do it. So literally go on my YouTube, I think I have a few tutorials, just follow along. Like what I used to do, which is really tedious, I used to find my like favorite artist. I think it was WLOP was my favorite artist, and a few other ones, of course. Never just stick to one because you're not trying to copy exactly one. You're trying to bring all these techniques together. And I would sit there because I used to be able to buy their full like time renders. They're like digital art. I'm doing it full time. They used to be like 20 hours long. And when I was learning digital art kind of for the first time, I used to sit there and copy every single brushstroke. Now, I don't entirely recommend you doing that because what I was doing is I was trying to learn like a whole painting all at once. Like just find something online. Like I have quite a few on my YouTube, time lapse, and slow it down. Really try and follow along for yourself. I think a lot of people just watch time lapses and that's it, but actually paint along. And what you get by the end of it is the ability to finish something, and your brain learns techniques while doing it. You gain a sense of confidence in your rendering because you couldn't finish something, and you pick up on different techniques that you'll one day mash together to make your own style. You can post it, you can not post it, it's completely up to you. The goal isn't to make something like that you need to post, but you can just always credit the artist if you do that. That would really help them. But again, so many people, the way I got confident in rendering is by learning from others. And that was for someone who's at the beginning of their kind of digital art process, or even that you finish painting before but you're not 100% happy with the result. If you want to create something that you're happy with the result, find an artist where you are happy with their result and then follow along, and you will basically go through a whole process, a whole process of a little like painting, that at the end you'll be happy for the results. So your brain is basically learning how to create something that you're happy about. Like, how did you go from A to B? Because that's really confusing at the beginning. Like, how did you go from A to B, right? So that's my second tip. That brings me to my third one, which is don't be don't make it 10 times harder for yourself by picking a subject that's really hard. Like, for example, drawing people is a hard subject. Like, it's really hard. Now, doesn't mean you can't do this. Like, do it sometimes. But when you're learning something new, when you want to be motivated, you got to mix it up a little bit. You got to do things that are not entirely impossible for you. Because if you're just doing things that are entirely impossible for you all the time, you're going to like lose all motivation and your rendering is just not going to progress. Your digital arts is not going to progress. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you understand first that some things are harder to paint than others, right? People, like again, very difficult. So where are we going to start? Let's start with doing something easier. Let's start with doing some tree roots, a mushroom, a rock, something a little bit easier that's actually more achievable. And yes, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's still going to be difficult. But it's not impossible. Like you could genuinely do something that you're proud of by the end of it potentially and try that a few times, right? Do a few different subjects, have fun with it. These things are easier because they're more organic, meaning that if you like draw a mushroom, for example, and you draw like the cap of it like a centimeter off, like it probably will still look fine because a mushroom can grow in many different ways. A human, yes, we can grow many different ways, but we spend all day looking at other humans. Like we know exactly what is wrong if we move something that's not meant to be moved to a different place, and we can spot it from a mile away. People looking at art can spot it from a mile away. We're so conditioned to understand the human face. And the human face has very specific proportions and all this kind of stuff. Obviously, it varies per person, but there is kind of a fundamental anatomy there. Now, if you are doing all those things, so you're making sure to use the right brush, you're learning from other artists, and you're not picking a subject that's really, really hard for you. If you're still finding it hard and like maybe color is in the way, maybe you're finding color really, really hard, like make it easier for yourself. Do it in black and white. Black and white is one of the easiest ways to cut out, like be able to focus on your technique, be able to focus on your rendering and the way you use the brush and the way you're interacting with the brush, and you're just cutting out a whole thing that you don't need to worry about anymore. Like try and cut as much away as possible so you can really focus on the thing that you're trying to build up, you're trying to learn. Now do color sometimes, it's fine, but when we're actually learning and when you're like feeling kind of maybe demotivated, you want to really like just sit down and just progress in some way and feel like kind of more accomplished or like it's not entirely impossible. It's still going to be hard again, but just cut some stuff out for yourself and make it easier for yourself. Choose a subject that is not too difficult and cut out color entirely just for a session. So thanks for watching. Grab that brush in the description to make your rendering a whole lot easier. And if you really want like a step-by-step on how to progress your rendering really, really fast, I'm actually opening the Render Guild in a few weeks. I'm really excited about it. We already have a few people signed up. So if you want to get on the wait list and be one of the first 15, the spots are going pretty fast, which is really cool. The first 15 members get a free one-on-one call with me included in their first month. And we'll go over like where you are right now, where you want to progress to, and just make sure that you're really on the road for progression. So yeah, click on the link in the description below the brush if you want to be one of the first 15 members in the Render Guild and just progress your art really, really, really fast.